In this video, we're going to be talking about the best garage door operator bracket for insulated garage doors. We're going to emphasize the importance of using this operator bracket, and we're going to provide you some pro tips on how to install it. Let's party. Okay, party people, so we're out here and we are finishing up an install for this CHI insulated garage door. Now, one of the final touches that we applied to this garage door was installing a proper operator bracket. Now, in most cases, you're going to get an operator bracket that obviously is going to come with the motor, and usually those are okay on your standard non-insulated doors. I guess you could even probably put it on some of your polyback or vinyl insulated garage doors. But when it comes to the insulated steel back garage door, well, I don't recommend using the manufacturer, or I should say the initial operator bracket that comes in the garage door opener motor box. And here's why. So there's a difference between a couple of them. Like, for example, this is your Genie operator bracket right there. This is your Genie bracket. And then I'll show you the LiftMaster version right there. This is the LiftMaster version operator bracket. And so long story short is that these operator brackets would sit right there in the middle, and they allow you to tack them on. You basically install them on your door. So you could put the J-arm, I know you can't see that, but the J-arm that goes to the garage door operator motor. Now, the point that we're trying to get at here, and what we really want to help you understand when installing a proper operator bracket, is that if we installed something like this, or even something like this, if we installed either one of these, well, it would work. It's going to work for a little while. But what happens is that when you tack on these very small brackets to this type of steel back insulated garage door, over time, and due to the weight, because the balance of the door will start to become a little bit heavier, it's just natural. Springs tend to loosen up a little bit, and that's why you need to have your springs adjusted periodically, or at least once a year whenever you get your garage door service. Out of the 2 times that you should probably get it serviced throughout the years, basically change of major weather, but that's for another video. We won't get into that. Long story short, these pieces are just not that strong to hold the integrity of the entire section when connected to the garage door opener motor. And what happens is that because of that weight that is displaced from the spring, and the door starts getting a little bit heavier, it starts pulling on the metal. It starts pulling on the metal of this steel back garage door when it starts to open and close. So keep in mind that when you are installing something like this, or something like this, the one that comes with Genie, either one of these, it will start to wear and tear, pull on the door, pull on your steel back portion of your garage door section, and in essence, break free, strip out, pull off, and it's an ugly, it's an ugly mess. In most cases, that's just not really the best way to go. And the reason why I say that is because when you're dealing with an operator bracket will always need to be strengthened. If you're using regular tap screws, it'll need to be strengthened as it was a part of the door section. So when doing so, or when applying either an operator bracket, and I've seen the poor man ORB. This is technically what we're talking about, is an ORB, this operator bracket right here. The poor man's version is basically putting a couple of punch angles, right? And so you'll see it to where they'll put a couple of punch angles along the center stile, basically from the hinges, and that could work too. That could work. But is it as pretty as something like an original ORB? Well, no, it's not. So this is what we're working with, or I should say, this is what we want to offer our customer, because long story short, this is a brand new garage door. And with this brand new garage door, we want to put all those final touches, final details, so that way we can get this door, that's beautiful by the way, working at its optimal level. And we don't want the customer who's spent a really nice amount of money, a pretty penny, we don't want him to have trouble later down in the future with his garage door section when we've applied only these small little brackets that over time is just going to pull on that section. That is not doing a solid for your customer. It's not doing a solid for you. And quite frankly, over time, they're just going to have to do a little bit more maintenance to the garage door. And we would hate to see holes being made on these sections more than they need to, more than basically what needs to be done with this particular ORB that is installed. So the importance again is we don't want to put anything that is small onto the garage door, and a steel back insulated garage door with heavy weight. We can do it on a non-insulated, it should be fine. You can do it even on some of the insulated polybacks, vinyl back garage doors. It's basically the garage door where you see the insulation on the back. You can actually see the foam sections. But when it comes to a steel door, when it comes to a door that is a steel back like the one we're seeing right now, well, quite frankly, this is the better way to go. And we'll get into how to install this. So again, this operator bracket, this ORB, this reinforced operator bracket, is designed to work along with the actual section. And as you see, what we've basically done is we've basically inserted this right up under the top door strut. We've utilized the same screws from the door hinge in the middle, and we've applied 2 more tap screws just to make sure that we have our door section, or I should say our ORB, secured onto our door section. Now, it doesn't need a lot of screws. You don't need to start tapping into all the different holes. You just want it secure enough so that way it feels like it's strong and sturdy. You want it secure enough so that way it feels like it's a part of the door section. So keep in mind that as the door is used with more wear and tear, as it begins to open and close, keep in mind that obviously it would start to pull on the metal of these inside garage door sections. And usually these sections are probably close to anywhere from like 25 to 27 gauge steel back sections. So it's metal in the front, insulation in the middle, metal in the back. So these are the best doors that technically exist out in the industry. This happens to be close to, I believe, a 16R value, anywhere from 12 to 16. It's the CHI 5893 model. And in essence, what we're looking at is basically a door operator bracket that feels like it's a part of the entire system, as opposed to going with something this tiny, this ridiculous, that quite frankly it's not going to really do a good job in sustaining the weight of the door and working with the motion of the door. Now, in addition to basically securing the operator bracket onto the door, you're going to want to make adjustments to the garage door opener motor. And by making adjustments to the garage door opener motor, you want to make sure that the operator bracket is smoothly working in conjunction with the travel. So obviously, with this particular door scenario, replacing the garage door along with the garage door opener motor, we've kind of made sure that everything is working together. But if we're doing this after the fact, and say, for example, we already had the door here already with a motor, and we're just installing an ORB bracket, well, we would want to make sure that we make the necessary travel adjustments, opening and closing, as well as the force settings to make sure that our door is working at its optimal level. Again, this is something that you want to do as a part of the entire service of replacing or installing the operator bracket. Adjust any travel that needs to be done to the garage door opener motor with the new ORB bracket. And at the same time, you want to adjust the force settings so that way it's working in conjunction now with this new piece that's along the door with the motor. Hey party people, Santiago from SOS Garage Door Service, and if you're getting any value out of this video, please do me a favor, hit that like button. In fact, if you haven't yet, consider subscribing, because on this channel we provide you pro tips and tech reviews for all your residential garage door needs. Now let's get back into the video. So notice that we have another example of an operator bracket ORB on this insulated garage door. It's a steel back door. This one happens to be one of those polyurethane doors from the Overhead brand, Overhead. This is very similar to the Overhead Wayne Dalton style. And what I want to point out is the difference in the hinges. You see these hinges are actually square shaped, Now, that is sometimes a challenge for finding out what is the right ORB, operator bracket, to get for a garage door like this. So as you can tell, it's just pretty simple, right? Cut and dry. They took a very similar ORB like we had in the other CHI door, but they simply now utilized what were two holes on the bottom of that ORB, or this one in fact, and they placed it inside. I probably would have done it on the outside, but maybe this is a little bit smarter to do because, I don't know, the steel on this door, it's, quite frankly, it's very thin and you can just puncture right through it, and I don't know, I just, you know, that's neither here or there. That's for another video. But what we're talking about here right now is basically how to install that ORB properly onto the door. So there are different sizes. You know, you do have 18-inch ORBs and you have 21-inch ORBs. This happens to be a 21-inch ORB. Well, actually, the one that we installed on the CHI was a 21-inch ORB. I believe this one will be the same. And so the point that we want to highlight once more is that when we're dealing with an insulated garage door like this one happens to be super heavy. In fact, we replaced the springs on this door with a pair of 273 wire springs. So again, if we were to install a very small operator bracket, one of those flimsy ones, over time it's just going to pull on that metal and it's just going to rip it out, and so it's not very efficient. It's not good for the customer, and if you're tackling this on your own, it's not the best way to go. This is what you want to do. You want to install an ORB, operator bracket, reinforcement bracket, for your insulated steel back garage door. Again, you can do it on non-insulated, you can do it even on some vinyl back installation. The idea is you're just wanting to fortify as best as possible your door section with the operator bracket that connects to the actual J-arm to the motor. You get the gist. So just another good example. Oh, looks like they're looking for me. That's going to be it for this one, party people. Now, if you have any questions with regards to where you can find this operator bracket, or perhaps maybe what's the best garage door operator bracket for your garage door, leave a comment down below. Now, if it seems like installing this garage door operator bracket on your garage door sounds like a party, go for it. I believe you'll have no problems in doing so. Once again, always applying the principles in installing that operator bracket on the door properly. So just use the advice and the pro tips in this video and you'll be perfectly fine. That's gonna be it for this one. Thanks for partying with me. Check out this other video right here. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all stay safe.